Hello, fairy tale fangs. Austin here. Shrek and McDonald's. They just seem to go together. It's funny because Burger King was actually the original partner for the first two Shrek films, but from Shrek the Third onward, McDonald's became the de facto Shrek partner with all sorts of crazy marketing schemes. But something that really resonated with people were those original Shrek figures they did. They were like 4 to 5 inches. They were solid color, and most of them played a sound effect or line of dialogue from the movie when pressed. They don't anymore, sadly, because the batteries have rotted in almost all of them. But you could still hit up your local thrift store or flea market and find tons of these great figures. And clearly there is a lot of nostalgia for these. Not only has covering these toys been my most requested video, but the Shrek toy actually made a recent appearance in a new McDonald's commercial for the collectible cups they're doing. And it's funny because those cups don't feature Shrek and Fiona on them, but instead the Shrek and Fiona figures from that McDonald's Shrek line. So there's a lot of love for these McDonald's Shrek toys. But today we're actually not going to be talking about those. We're going to be talking about something very different, because I was surprised to learn that there are McDonald's Shrek toys I had not heard of until very recently. So here in the United States, we had that original Shrek the Third promotion, and then McDonald's came back for Shrek Forever After and Puss in Boots, and they also supported the Shrek the Hall's Holiday Special, all with fun figures. But other countries got different lines of figures. There's even exclusive characters that we didn't get here in the United States, like Brogan and the Wicked Witch from Forever After. This has intrigued me, and I've sort of made it a quest of mine now to complete a whole set of these McDonald's Shrek figures. And maybe someday in the future, when I have them all, we'll do a big grand retrospective on all of the McDonald's Shrek. But until that happens, you're going to join me on a journey to get some of these. So after much online hunting, I got a bag of what I call the international Shrek figures, because none of these were released in the United States. This set in particular, I'm not exactly sure where it comes from. The packaging is in English. It's not bilingual, so I don't think it's from Canada. But I also don't think it's from Europe, because Europe had some other figures. So my best guess to where these come from is Australia or New Zealand, because they had similar looking lines of figures. It's kind of weird how these work. Some countries get certain characters, some countries got others. So there's kind of like a big pool of figures outside of the US. And I don't know, I guess certain countries picked what characters they wanted. So this may not be a complete set. This may be a mishmash of different Shrek toy lines. I'm not exactly sure what's in here, but we're gonna open this up and unbox some fun and rare Shrek figures that you may not have even known existed. So let's take a look. And here we go. Look at these figures. Okay, we'll start with Shrek here. Shrek Forever After. And it's called Chatter Changer Shrek. And it looks like he's got a baby swaddle here. So let's crack it open. Oh yeah, look at this. It's so weird seeing like the McDonald's Shrek figures in sculpts I've never seen before. And that is a really nice Shrek sculpt. Shield's a little bit tiny, but the face on that, look at that. That is clean. You want to compare real quick? Here is the United States Shrek Forever After Shrek. Now this one is more accurate to the movie because he's got his battle gauntlets here, whereas this shield is not used. And come to think of it, I don't remember Shrek ever having a baby swaddle with one of his babies in it, but that is really fun, and that's a very unique way to have Shrek. Now, what's going on here? So the baby goes like that, and then you think he still talks? I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's take a look. Oh, so I guess when you put the baby on him, he's supposed to speak. Okay, so the batteries have melted in this, just as I figured. He doesn't speak anymore. But who cares? It's such a fun, unique, displayable Shrek. I'm definitely going to display him with the swaddle on. Very domesticated compared to the battling, angry one we got. Which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. I'm just happy we have both because they're so unique and so different. Next up is Donkey, and this is the kind of mangy donkey from the other timeline in Forever After. Then he's got I think this is like the chains that he's trapped in when Shrek meets him. Remember the witches kind of have him tied to their wagon? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Oh, I see. That would click in and also activate his voice line, which, of course, no longer works. So I guess if you really wanted to, you could find, like, a carriage and do the full display, if you can find those rare witch figures. I do love how different this donkey is. I mean, they really amped up the manginess of Donkey here. For comparison, here is the United States one. Let me know which one you prefer. I actually prefer the US one in this case. I think the waffle in his mouth just makes him more dynamic. And it's funny that on that McDonald's collector's cup that just released, this is the donkey they put on the cup. They went with the mangy donkey over the regular donkey. And I think that's because of that waffle in the mouth. Like, it's just so, you know, characteristically donkey. Like, there's no doubt who this is. Was this one, I could see a kid not even realizing this is a Shrek toy. It's just so not Donkey. But, interesting to say the least. Okay, let's go with Gingy. I'm noticing a theme with these. They all seem to have snap-on pieces. Whereas the, other ones are just... Oh, look at this. This is great. Okay, so here is the regular Gingy. And I have to admit, I was never a big fan of this figure because he's got these stretchy and squishy arms, but they never quite worked. Like, how are you supposed to play with that at all? It's just kind of ridiculous. But this one has that snap-on armor that makes him into the Forever After Gingy. That is absolutely awesome. It's like two figures in one. You could get regular Gingy, and then boom, Gladiator Gingy. You think he works? Nope, none of these seem to work anymore. But that's okay, because that's a really fun figure. Okay, so in this instance, I definitely prefer this version over the US one. Okay, now we're going to look at Puss in Boots, a.k.a. Chunky Puss. And this was one I really wanted just because it's so different compared to the version we got here. So I'm very excited to see what this looks like. His cape is his armor piece, all right. And then for posterity's sake, we'll turn him on. Wow, that is chunk. Look at that guy. That is a big Puss in Boots right there. But let's compare him to the other version. And yeah, it's no contest. This one is way better. Whereas this one's kind of laying down. That's kind of what Puss looks like when he's laying down. This one is at least much more dynamic. I will say, they're actually, now that I look at it, they're different scenes. So this one here is when Shrek first finds Puss in Boots domesticated by Fiona. He's got the bow on. And this is from the finale of the movie where he regains his cape and hat and becomes Puss in Boots once more. So the comparison here is really not fair. They're two very different figures. And I would say both are worthy of adding to your collection. But I do prefer this one more. I wish this one was easier to get here in the US, because that is a great figure. All right, moving on, we have Fiona. Oh, she's got her armor already on, so we'll have to take it out of the bag. And there we go. So this one is very different from the standard release because it seems to be the regular version of Fiona and not the alternate one, but her hair is longer. So I don't really know what this figure is supposed to be. The regular Fiona is only in the movie for but a brief moment, whereas this warrior Fiona is in most of the film. So this is an odd one for sure. I also don't know what this armor is supposed to be. Could this be something that was cut from the movie, based on an earlier design of this version of Fiona? It's entirely possible. Or maybe they just gave the Happy Meal designers some very creative liberties, and they made their own flexing Fiona. And I do really love the pose on this one. She looks great. She's all angry and showing off because she's tough. And what makes this figure great is any figure of Ogress Fiona is tough to find. I did a whole video on that. But with the McDonald's figures, all of the Fionas they did, at least here in the United States, were crouching. They're all squatting. So she really looks tiny compared to Shrek, whereas this one is not entirely upright. She still is, like, leaning down just a bit, but definitely less so, to where you could put her next to Shrek and they finally are almost the same height. They're definitely to scale with one another. So I'm kind of torn on this one. I really like it. It's very unique, and I definitely prefer this to the Shrek the Third Fiona. Actually, let's do a comparison of that. So this is really the best way to judge them, is to compare the two Fionas that are not the different character. And yeah, this one is running circles around the Shrek the Third one. Just look at how much better the head sculpt is, and how much more personality is in there. This one just looks generic, whereas, yeah, that's Fiona, smirking and smug. Like, that's definitely her. So, I prefer this one over this one by a long shot. I do wish we got a better figure of the alternate Fiona, because I love this design so much, and it is really a shame that this is our only figure of this action Fiona. But either way, I mean, look at all the Fionas we got from McDonald's. There was more Ogre Fiona in this McDonald's line than all of the Shrek action figure lines combined. How crazy is that? So, we've got one more figure to unbox, and this one is perhaps the most interesting of them all, because this is an exclusive character, the Chatter Changer Dragon, also known as Elizabeth, and this is the only figure we got of her from Forever After. So the wings just click on like that. There was no dragon here stateside. So here she is. Looks like she's got 1 point of articulation at the head. And she does come with the disco ball that is used in the climax of the film. And it goes around her neck like so. So it's a scene-specific, movie-specific version of Dragon. I really do like that. There's definitely not enough toys of Dragon, and the ones they did make are pretty tough to get. So this makes for a nice display piece. Too bad this one is just as rare as those other figures. But I think this may be the only one that was made specific to the fourth movie. So we have Dragon, we have Fiona, we have Gingy, Puss, Donkey, and Shrek. These are the 6 I got. I believe these are a complete set of 6 that was available in some country, possibly New Zealand or Australia. If you know in the comments, please do let me know. I will pin your comment to the top, and we will all know this great information. But these are just some of the other Shrek Forever After figures that you might not have known existed. They're all more like this, believe it or not, and they can be tough to find, but it's so odd seeing how different these are. It's like looking, at least in my case, into another universe, because I never knew these existed, and they look so similar to the ones I had as a kid, yet different at the same time. So definitely a peculiar piece for sure. And do let me know in the comments, which ones do you prefer? Do you like the United States set of figures, or do you like this other alternate set? I kind of like the alternate set more, it's kind of growing on me. The poses are just so dynamic and interesting, and the gimmick of the snap-on pieces is so simple, yet fun at the same time. They all kind of come with their own little accessory, which makes them feel more like traditional action figures. Articulation is also, not great, but decent enough for a kid's meal toy. So let me know what you think of this rare set of figures. And that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, and have a happily ever after. Unless you're Gladiator Gingy, because, spoiler alert, he gets eaten.